Hey, how's it going guys? Jack and Matt here with the ToastyBros, and today we're taking a look at one of the best laptop steals right now at $850.
Laptops have been going on sale a lot recently, and given the PC hardware market, if you're looking to get into PC gaming, this may be a good option for you. But before we talk about this laptop, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by VANKYO and their new Leisure 530-watt projector. Having a big screen gaming experience is much more affordable than you think with this 1080p projector that can project over a 100-inch image. It also includes a 100-inch projector screen if you happen to need it, but here at our office with a really blank wall, you can get some even better results. Even in a dimly lit room, this projector still displays an awesomely bright image and makes for a really awesome gaming experience. We certainly are going to be using this at our office for future gaming nights, and so should you. Check the link in the description down below to learn more, and special thanks again to VANKYO for sponsoring today's video.
So we found the best deal was actually on eBay through Newegg. If you guys don't know, often Newegg will actually sell under their brand on eBay, and sometimes it's cheaper than their website. Kind of weird, but hey, it's brand new and sealed.
The price of this laptop can vary. We did pick it up around $850, but I've seen it all the way up to like $1,000. Anywhere between that range is a pretty good deal, but obviously if you can find it for $850, links in the description down below, that is obviously the best deal. So how about not waste any more time and open this thing up? All right, fellow gamers, we're gonna unbox this laptop now with our very small knife. So easy unboxing, as long as this actually will cut it. I think it did. Yes, we did. All right, gonna open this thing up. Very excited to see this because again, like we're on like this continued quest to find the best deals to get into PC gaming with everything going on in the world. And laptops, man, laptops are still pretty affordable at the moment. Hopefully that doesn't change, but here we go. Very well packaged. We'll go ahead and sit that right over there. And then underneath all this foam, try to keep this intact the best we can. We have a power brick, traditional power brick. Big old, oh my God, there's the actual brick. This is a power cable, but this is a pretty decent sized brick. I mean, it's thinner than some other ones I've seen, but it's still pretty big. So keep that in mind. If you're getting a gaming laptop, it's gonna be kind of beefy. Doesn't look like there's anything else that's important. We're gonna go ahead and put that to the side, put this all back together, and then take a look at that laptop. All right, here it is, and it's protective cloth. Here we go, look at that thing. That thing's pretty clean. What I really liked about this laptop was it doesn't look super gamery. It does have this like humpback right here, which is kind of interesting, kind of different from other designs I've seen, but it could be used as like a normal work laptop that can do some gaming on the side. The specs are really awesome. Ryzen 7 4800H with a 1660 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM, I believe, and a 256 gig SSD with a 1 terabyte hard drive. So a lot of stuff in here under $1,000. That 144Hz screen is pretty awesome. Looks like we have a privacy filter, I think, for the webcam. That's kind of cool as well. And it is a 15.6-inch laptop, so pretty well built. Quality is nice. It's pretty thin too compared to other gaming laptops, but I mean, it's not any sort of thin and light, ultralight laptop that you would get that wouldn't have like a dedicated GPU in it. But ventilation looks pretty good on the bottom. Got this raised rubber feet right here, so it can actually ventilate when sitting on a desk. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Looks like all the ports, actually, there's a couple ports on the side. We'll go ahead and do those first. We have a USB 3, I would assume, combo jack headphone microphone, or is it just headphone? Just headphone, but it has a little mic thing on it, so it might be headphone mic. Who knows? It could be a combo jack, could be not. On the other side, looks like we have another USB 3, and then some activity LEDs. Make sure Jackson can show that off. And then this is where all the ports are. They're in the back. So we have a USB-C, Ethernet, 2 more USB ports, HDMI, and oh, that's the power. Yeah, it looks kind of weird. I don't know, that's the power connector. Let me see this. I haven't seen one of these before.
There is a Kingsington lock next to it.
There is a Kingsington lock next to
Still
it.
Don't really, never used one.
But yeah, so the power connector kind of, it's interesting. It has like a one little pin in the middle, and then it looks like a USB. So, okay, cool. Maybe that's more durable, whatever. But yeah, plugs in right there. Having all the USB stuff in the back could be kind of cool, especially if you're having like a docking station or something. It makes it so when you dock this laptop, you have a little bit easier way to like organize the cables and everything. So kind of cool, but yeah, I mean, overall, really impressive looking laptop. Only thing we can really do now is boot this thing up in some video games and see how it performs. All right, guys, now that we have this laptop all booted up and ready to go, let's test it in some games. First up, we are playing Call of Duty Cold War, and we are running on like medium settings because I'm trying to get this PC as close as possible to the 144Hz display that is on it. So if we can get it to 144 FPS, then we can actually take advantage of that 144Hz screen. And in Call of Duty Cold War, running on medium settings, it should be pretty achievable, but we will see once we dive into this game of Kill Confirmed on Nuketown, which is a pretty demanding map in the game, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. But my first impressions while we're loading in, this laptop is pretty quiet. It's not super loud compared to other gaming laptops, and it does have a profile changer where if you hit Function Q, it does change between a silent profile, an auto profile, and a high performance. We are running on high performance, so do keep that in mind because we want to get the absolute most performance we can from it. But first impressions of the screen, it looks really good. It is a little bit dimmer than I would like, but for a laptop, it's actually very impressive and looks pretty smooth. Now, it does look like we're going to be a little bit below the 144 FPS mark on the medium settings. So if you wanted to optimize a little bit more and go to like, I don't know, lower settings, you could get up to 144 potentially, but let's see how far it drops when we get into action. I do really like how this keyboard feels. It has a little bit of a tactile bump to it. It's not like they're trying to make a really fake mechanical keyboard or anything, but it does feel pretty good, and it has that same like chiclet design that most Lenovo keyboards have. So if you're really into that sort of design from any other Lenovo laptop, then I think you'd be pretty happy with this. Now, we are dipping below 100 FPS, which isn't ideal, and it does look like the bottleneck is the 1660 Ti, which we kind of expected because, well, that Ryzen 7 can hold up with pretty much any other higher end GPU, and there are laptops with higher end GPUs than the 1660 Ti, but overall, I mean, still getting over 90 FPS in Call of Duty Cold War is pretty impressive. And of course, having 16 gigs of RAM is damn near essential in any sort of gaming system nowadays. You can kind of get away with 8 gigs, but in a game like Cold War, having 16 is pretty much a must. And as you can see, we're using about 11 gigs of it right now. So good on Lenovo for including 16 gigs in this laptop. And given that I was able to pick this thing up for under $1,000, it makes for a really good deal. And even right at $1,000, I think with how high quality this screen is, the build quality of this laptop, it's way better than some cheaper laptops that we've taken a look at around the $700 price point. I mean, I think it's still a laptop that's worthy of being picked up at $1,000 if you do get it at that price point. So $850, obviously a great deal, but it could go for a little bit more and still be a pretty good value. Temperatures seem pretty rock solid as well. I can't get the metric for the Ryzen 7 for some reason, the MSI Afterburner, but just based on the GPU right now, I have a feeling it's hovering around 50 to 60 C, and the laptop isn't getting very warm or ramping up really loud. So the cooling setup that we have on this laptop is pretty impressive as well. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and run through one more time, try to get as many kills as we can, and then we'll switch over to another game, shall we? He's pushing. Oh, I got him. Oh, and I'm dead. Okay, well there you go. But hey, look at that. Call of Duty Cold War, pretty good playable results. How about go and switch to another game, shall we? All right, guys, the next game we're gonna be testing is good old Fortnite. And on pro settings, which is epic view distance, everything else on low, we're probably gonna get some pretty good results. In the menu, we're getting over 300 FPS, which, I mean, is to be expected right in the menu. But with this laptop, I see it being very popular for esports titles like Fortnite, like Valorant, like Rainbow Six Siege. So as long as we can get the 144 FPS mark, we can fully take advantage of that screen and make for a pretty competitive gaming experience on the go. So under $1,000, it's a pretty lofty goal, but I do think this laptop's going to do really well in Fortnite because of the results we got in Cold War. So let's not waste any more time and get into it. All right, guys, we are now in Fortnite, and you know what? Frame rate's looking pretty good. Can't complain. We're gonna go ahead and drop in right here and see what kind of results we get. It does vary when you're up in the bus before you actually land into the battlefield. So we're gonna go ahead and land and see what kind of frame rate we have. But running on pro settings, we are leaning much more on that Ryzen 7 as opposed to the 1660 Ti. So we're really gonna see how well this Ryzen laptop CPU can perform. And we're starting to hear that laptop rev up. It doesn't get super loud. There's way more louder laptops out there on the market than this one, but it does get a little bit loud in gaming, but that's just kind of to be expected in the territory of gaming laptops. So we're gonna circle around here, try to land and not die instantly, because that does tend to happen. Okay, here we go. And the frame rate is around 250 to 200. So over 200 FPS, that's pretty nice. I mean, we are trying to get a 144 FPS experience, and right now we are achieving that. And I'm getting this guy dropping on me right now. Maybe, can I kill him? There we go. Bat tacos, goodbye, you done. All right, let's pick up a bow. And the frame rate is staying pretty consistent right now, over 200 FPS. We aren't using nearly as much RAM as we were in Cold War, which is to be expected. And the laptop is getting a lot quieter because I do think because we're not using the GPU nearly as much, we are way more dependent on the CPU. So cooling on the GPU goes down a little bit, it sounds a bit quieter. So still getting really good results over 200 FPS. And the fact that we don't have to do, well, any sort of crazy GPU usage, I mean, it makes it sound nice and quiet. And I hear somebody running off on me, so I'm just like blabbing right now. Gotta prepare myself, guys. The speakers on this laptop are pretty impressive too. I do like the way they sound. I am running at like 25 or 30% volume and they are still pretty loud. So if you really care about having speakers, even though I do recommend if you're gonna game actually using some headphones, they do sound pretty damn good. I don't like this. Oh, here's this guy. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Oh, I'm getting shot at from this guy now. There we go, Pizza Unicorn, no chance whatsoever. But hey, look at that, 3 kills, easy peasy, no problems in a game like Fortnite, getting over 200 plus FPS. I mean, you really can't complain too much. For you Fortnite gamers out there, this might be a good laptop to consider if you're trying to get into PC gaming and can't seem to build your own. Let's go ahead and test another game, shall we? All right, guys, now the last couple of games we're gonna be testing, we will be using the built-in benchmark tool. First up in Rainbow Six Siege on very high settings, we're gonna run this benchmark and see what kind of results we get, but I do expect getting well over 200 plus FPS. As I mentioned, this laptop's gonna be great for those esports titles, and as you can see right here, we're right at that mark, over 200 FPS. The 1660 Ti on high settings, that is, very high settings, is looking to be the bottleneck, so you can still play pretty much any esports title, get well over 144 FPS and have a great gaming experience. You probably will be limited in some AAA titles with that 1660 Ti, but you still can get 60 FPS on lower settings, which we'll see in our final benchmark. But we're gonna let this run, you all can see what kind of numbers we get, and really, overall, it's pretty impressive. And there you have it, we average 238 FPS. I do think that is more than playable. How about we go and switch to our AAA benchmark of choice, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. All right, guys, last but certainly not least is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and we are running on the high preset using the built-in benchmark. As I mentioned, this is our AAA benchmark of choice because it is one really demanding and does represent a lot of the AAA titles out there. So as long as we're getting over 60 FPS on high settings, well, with an average, I do think this laptop can play pretty much any AAA title out there at 60 FPS. So this one's kind of a long one, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it run and recap at the end of the benchmark run. All right, guys, as you can tell, we got over that 60 FPS by averaging 85 FPS. I mean, this thing is an awesome laptop for the money. Really, given everything going on in the world, even if the market was, well, the way it was a year or so ago, this would still be an awesome deal at $850 or a little bit more, right, $1,000. So absolutely love this Lenovo Legion laptop. How are we going to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick?
Alright guys, so this laptop, as you probably expected with that 1660 Ti and Ryzen 7, has no problems playing any game you throw at it. Now, it's a really good deal at $850, probably like the video title, the best deal of 2021. Now, as the time recording this, I think it went up to like $950, would not be surprised if it goes up to over $1,000. As long as it's under like 1,100 bucks, I still highly recommend it.
And really, you could do a lot with this laptop. Content creation, gaming, live streaming if you wanted to. There's not enough fingers to describe how many things you can do with this laptop. We gotta use our toes. But anyways, this laptop's a great laptop, and if you wanna pick this thing up, link in the description down below. It will be an affiliate link if you do purchase using those links, it'll help us out. I'll try to link Amazon, eBay, which we did get this off eBay through Newegg, and I'll try to link Newegg. So a lot of different options, link in the description down below.
So make sure you check all those different links because each one might have a different deal depending on the time. And if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like. And also don't forget to check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. And don't forget to comment and subscribe.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Hey Matt, did you know that if you can't get enough of the ToastyBros, those guys stream live?
No, I don't do that. It's just you.
We do that.
No, we don't.
We do that.
Just kidding. Twitch.tv/ToastyBros. We give away PCs and we do a 12-hour stream every single month. It's fun. Do that. Follow. Yeah, I might be there. I don't know.
All right, peace out.